What's up? This is Tom from Suburban Helltapes, here for Utopian Voids. We're at CK doing some band interviews, and today I'm here with Violet. Violet, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Kristen.
And I think I'm Paul.
Yeah, Paul, I think you're in another band as well that we have worked with before here at Utopian Voids.
Yeah, I think that's a rumor, but maybe it's true.
No exits, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys, nice place.
Thank you.
I still remember like that cocktail mix thing you made.
Yeah.
Because that got me fucked up that night. That's what
Yes.
the memories are coming back now.
Yeah, I think that was lavender from our garden and gin, lemons.
But mostly gin if you got fucked up.
Yeah,
Mostly
probably
gin.
mostly gin.
Yeah.
I believe there were some baked goods as well, or something sweet. I remember.
Yes, there were vegan cupcakes.
Oh yeah, they were really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I saw you guys just dropped a new track this month called "Cry Cry." Anything you guys want to say about that?
I actually recorded that track with my good buddy Kim Lane Bowen, and we did it I think like 3 years ago, and I just finally put it out.
That's cool. Is it mostly just singing, or was there any EPs?
It is, but I'm really working on getting a full-length album. I want to do like
Wow.
an album with a little art book, and I think
Oh, yeah.
actually Dustin is going to help do some of the recording.
Ooh, really?
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, so can you talk about a little bit about the art that you do as well? I remember seeing some at the show. It was really cool.
Yeah, I do media art and video art, so like single-channel videos and installation pieces, and I like to do lots of sampled media pieces, so I did a whole series using like all Atari, Nintendo, Sega Genesis media.
Wow.
I'll send you something. I did like a whole remake of Kanye West's Bound 2 with all like Atari, Nintendo media, like matching all the shots and stuff.
So when you say you're using the media, like what exactly does that mean?
So like getting games and then taking like a horse riding or like footage from the road and cruising USA, and then just taking that media and mixing it together.
Okay, so you're like kind of recreating stuff shot for shot, but in different kind of games or stuff like that?
Yeah, it actually took, I think, like 8 weeks of like almost full-time work, because I was trying to match like every single shot exactly, angles as much as we could and all that.
Man, that is so cool, because I'm really interested in stuff like that too, that combines like kind of elevating. I mean, video games already are an art form, but also maybe elevating them into something more, I don't know, like synthesizing stuff from video games into a new art form, right?
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to shout out, like any upcoming shows or anything you're working on, or just in general?
Well, we're playing Utopian Voids on April 5th, so Paul?
Yeah, I mean, Utopian Voids is pretty much the shit to do. I mean, it's like the place you want to be, so you'll miss out if you don't come. It's always a good time, but particularly if Violet's on the bill there. Shameless self-promotion, of course.
That's good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, it's actually our favorite series in the whole Inland Empire. When I first came to LA, I used to go to stuff at Hush Club, and that was like our favorite spot to play, our favorite spot to go, and then now we have something like right close to home here in Pomona, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, keeping the music scene alive local and just kind of building that network. And so the Hush Club, I don't think I've heard of that one before. Where was that at?
That was at the Hyperion Tavern.
It was in Silver Lake in LA. It was like this kind of like sort of like semi-speakeasy vibe where it was like you go in and like Dom Bowles was like DJing, and then Karen Centerfold, which is like this crazy local legend lady. I don't know, you can Google her and find out more information about her. But they would have like a Wednesday night free show there. And like you'd have like bands from everywhere. People would come from Australia just playing some random show there. You'd have like the crazy space cat lady, like they would do like weird stories. We actually also discovered Christmas in America, which is like this cult, like late 70s evangelist like lady that does this Christmas special, and they screened it there, and then now we've taken it to having a Christmas party themed around that too.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's like kind of like the whole night was a collaboration of like both music and sort of local artists and people that were doing kinds of weird things there. And you just get like random people walking in and showing up and doing stuff. And kind of like any semi-legal bar situation.
Yeah, and it was curated by Don Bowles from the Germs. The first time we went in there, my old bandmate was in town, and we just went up to him and we're like, Don, we want to play your show. And he's like, you got it. So it was kind of curated and kind of random. If he liked the looks of you, he just let you play.
Yeah, I think that's also where when you met Karen Centerfold, you had something interesting happening there too.
Well, I've met Karen Centerfold several times. She never remembers me, but she always does the same thing. She comes over and she like pets my head and pulls my hair, and she's like, is that a wig or is that your hair? And I say, it's my hair, Karen, but it's meant to look like a wig. And she's always like, that's spectacular. And it's happened probably like 10 times.
So yeah, do you guys want to talk a little bit about like describe your music and your sounds, and maybe also curious about the origin of your band name?
Okay, so the band name origin, I played in a band called Intrafaction in New York, and then we were like a trio, and then my buddy Nick and I split off, and we became Violet Transfiction, and then when I split off from that and went solo, I just went Violet, and now he's kind of like the Violet, the other Violet to
Two
my
Violets.
Violet. Yeah.
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet.
Yeah. I'm really bad at talking about my own music, but in my head it sounds like a lot more Americana than it is. So I kind of started when I was working on solo songs, looking for an instrument that had like more of a country sound. So I was thinking about getting an auto harp, but I tried one out and they're really hard to keep in tune. So I got a little auto harp synthesizer, an omnichord, and then
nice.
that was actually like way back in 2013. So
Wow.
I certainly wasn't the first one to discover the old omnichord. I mean, David Bowie and lots of other people had used it, but still it wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot harder to find one now, right?
I don't know, man. There's like a lot of omnichords were made because apparently they were like big in churches, like pastors used them because they're like really good for hymns and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It kind of serves a similar role to like an organ, right, where you're just playing chords on it, basically.
Yeah, and it just has like a really warm. I love analog synth sounds. I played a microcorg before that in my old band, and so it was kind of like I went from microcorg to omnichord.
Man, so one of my teachers growing up had a auto harp, and then I thought it was so cool, and then I discovered the omnichord, and then I have a microcorg as well. So you're making me want to make the move to get an omnichord now.
Yeah, there's lots of omnichords out there.
Yeah, there's like different generations of them too, and then I think at some point they kind of went from being an omnichord to almost like a keytar looking thing.
Yeah, I think they called that the Q chord. Yeah, it became the Q chord, and it's kind of like more based on a guitar than an auto harp, but the like later omnichords have MIDI out. So that's a cool feature if you get a later one.
Yeah, that would be cool, like using it as a sequencer, basically. Yeah, that would be sick. Oh, you're making me want to buy a gear now. Gonna get me in trouble.
Too. You can come over and play the omnichord with us.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, hopefully I would love if you guys ever have a party there again or a house show, I would love to come through. So
definitely. That was our first one, and we were kind of inspired by Dustin and all the stuff you guys get together, and kind of want to like set up our home camp here.
That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're trying to help out with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Favorite food spot in New York that you miss the most, and favorite food spot in LA?
Oh, wow. That's tough. I mean, I guess I can't just take it down to one spot in New York, but just like the street falafels. You can get like a falafel sandwich at like 1 o'clock in the morning for like $4 there. And I don't think that exists in LA. Favorite food spot in LA? Paul, you know my heart and my food. What is it?
I mean, you like fish tacos a lot.
Nice.
So I mean, there's like numerous spots here, but I think actually the true answer to this is Kristen's like a really sick baker and cook and stuff like that. So pretty much whatever's coming out of the oven is my favorite.
How sweet.
But I don't know what Kristen's favorite is. Yeah.
I like eating at home, but there's the Lebanese taco place.
Hmm.
It's like Lebanese Mexican fusion in Boyle Heights. I can't remember the name of it. It starts with an X and it's really hard to pronounce, but
Okay.
that is like my favorite taco.
That sounds like a really interesting fusion combination.
It is, yeah.
What is the genesis of your music making? How does a song come about from the seed of inspiration to the finished product?
I think for me, it's basically all my songs are dark, sad love songs. So I think from like heartache, longing, fighting with my baby, all those things. So I think a song for me starts with kind of like something that's on my mind, something I'm going through, and then I'll usually make a melody, get out my omnichord or my guitar, put some chords to it, and then kind of goes from there. I've worked with my producer Kim, and sometimes he'll like make a beat for me, or Paul. Paul's actually a really good drummer also. He hasn't used his drumming skills recently, but yeah, so he'll do beats for me, and then I usually do like the bass line first on a synth, like my microKORG or something like that, and you know, I don't know what else. Sometimes Paul helps me with synth lines, sometimes I do them myself.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Do you have a favorite microKORG preset that you remember the number of? Mine is A55.
A55.
You know what that is, probably.
I
yeah.
feel like A71 used
Okay.
to be used a lot for me, but I'd have to get home and check out my microKORG because I haven't played her in a while. She's feeling pretty lonely.
She's lonely. She
Yeah.
needs some love.
Yes, she does.
This has been Tom from Suburban Helltapes here for Utopian Voids at CK with Violet Violet. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks, Tom.
Of course. Thank you so much for watching. Back to you.
Check, 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 check. You could probably turn me down. Turn this one down. Check, 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 check. Yeah, there you go. Check, check, check.
This next song is called Joy. Recording this song. The song is out to anyone that's in a difficult position with someone they love, whether it be a family member, a friend, lover, or a part of yourself you're no longer connected to. Compare your life to what's on your books, your phones, your TV, your media, the people around you. You question if what you have is love, or you don't know what to call it because it's complicated, because it hurts, because it's hard, it's not ideal. I want you to know that if you were moved by someone or something so deeply, so much. Again, we are Glitter Ghost on Instagram, GlitterXGhost. This is our last song. It is called Haunted. If you like this or hear this, I made it really convenient for you. It has all of our information. If you want merch, me just like that. And again, thank you so much to Utopian Voice for throwing this event.
Let's meet the acts.
What's up? This is Tom from Suburban Helltapes, out here for Utopian Voids at CK Cafe. I'm here with Glitter Ghost today. How's it going?
It's going good. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, going well. Thank you.
So yeah, do you guys want to introduce yourselves and tell us your names and stuff?
Well, I go by Glitter Ghost. That's like my stage name.
And I go by Kevin. That is just my name.
And so where are you guys from? Where are you located?
We're located in the Inland Empire. I am from Yucaipa, Redlands Highland area.
And I was born in San Bernardino.
Yes.
Awesome.
And the rest of our bandmates are from Yucaipa and Fontana.
Yeah, cool. So I was checking out your Instagram and I saw one of the words that was frequently described in your sound was like cryptids. There's a lot of things involving cryptids.
Yeah.
So for our audience out there who might not know what a cryptid is, could you explain that?
I believe a cryptid is like a concept. It's either a fantasy or make-believe thing, or you have people who fully believe in the said beast or lore or entity. Locally, it's like a local lore.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're the same thing. Either people are like, that's just a project, that's just garage band and like hopes and dreams, or someone's like, there's a lot of potential here, or people who come to our shows and if they like us tend to be like, I needed to hear that. So I think it just depends if you like scary stories or magic or anything like that. It's on you. It's for the audience to decide.
It's the believers are what give the cryptids power, basically.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we're nothing really.
I feel like that's like the plot of more than one Goosebumps episode. It's like people needing to believe in the monster for it to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could you describe your sound for us at all and like the kind of music that you make?
I think we're heavily inspired by early 2000s, the post-punk revival kind of scene, Strokes, Interpol, all those, The Killers, when they were good.
Prime Killers.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, they will usually come up with an idea and I just try to make it come to life as best I can. I think Glitter Ghost gives off the perfect name for how we kind of sound, because I tend to make my guitar sound super like glittery and kind of weird, and I try my best to just compliment Glitter Ghost herself. So when we write music together, it's kind of just like what we're feeling at the moment, and I think what we've been listening to, a lot of it feels nostalgic to me because we both actually knew each other in high school, and we were both like little hardcore scene kids,
scene emo kids, and I was just like, I can't write Dance Gavin Dance, but I also like the Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm also kind of a dork, and I listen to all sorts of other music. How can I reference a little bit of everything? And you'll be like, I'm sure if I tell you a few bands, you're like, oh, I can hear that.
Yeah.
Like, love the Cranberries, love the Smashing Pumpkins. I love Japanese rock, so it's like Larkin Cell, The Pillows is super good, and I like post-hardcore, straight up screamy crabcore, whatever. Like
Chapel.
Yeah.
We're having a resurgence of that right now, I feel like.
We are.
In this
Absolutely.
area.
Yes.
It's like in the IE specifically, we're having that resurgence, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
It's like a dream come true for me.
So it's like we have to be from the IE and like kind of be like, yeah, why wouldn't you like synchronize your guitar players on stage? Or, I don't
Do the little skipping.
Jumping around.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
So-
what it
For
does.
sure.
I think all of that, and then Ghost or something from the past or something from the future. Again, I think it's just all up for interpretation. I think that's the best way to sum it up.
So I saw you guys just released an EP pretty recently here. That was the Creepy EP. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, it took a lot of hard work. We were just mostly in the garage, just recording, so pretty standard stuff. But Glitter Ghost already had the songs kind of ready, and we just wanted to give everyone in the band their own moment to shine as well. So
I think it was our first songs, and we needed something. I think people just wanted to hear, if they weren't coming out to a show, like what it might sound like. And I even think it's like kind of outdated now, but it'll never be perfect, and if you don't release it, it'll just never exist. So we were
Yes.
like, it wasn't an ideal timeline to let stuff out, because then we're like, we can do better, we've evolved, and we're like, we just need to let it go for the sake of like having something.
Thank you for saying that. I tried to convince so many people that as well. Like, like stop saying that it's not good enough. Stop saying that it doesn't represent your sound now. No,
Yeah.
it's work that you made, and it's part of your evolution as an artist.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just about to say that.
Yeah.
I think every band evolves after time. We've been together for 2 years, and the first few demos sound is just me. I just recorded like some of the instruments to help out, and then, but it was very just like
It was our
what.
best.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
always our best in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then after it's cringe because you're like, I've evolved, but we have to honor all versions of ourselves. And it's also nice looking back. I think if you can hear it and like, I can do better, that's an awesome thing.
After playing together for such a long time, the songs change like a little bit. Like you said, I think evolving is the perfect word for that. Because I think regardless if you have something so old, even if you have the chance later, you could just re-release it, make something like how you feel comfortable now.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to learn as you go. So I saw, I was checking out some of the stuff you guys had made, and I feel like I saw a lot of things relating to Birdcage Comics Cafe.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to shout them out or talk about that at all?
They are friends of ours. We're from the Inland Empire. The Inland Empire is a literal fucking empire of Riverside County, San Bernardino County, and San Bernardino. The IE, when I think of the IE, I think of growing up all in downtown San Bernardino and stuff. I think it's in the heart of San Bernardino, and I think we like playing there, and a lot of our friends, a lot of people, the owners included, a lot of artists, a lot of people. If you ask anyone from the IE who's artistic and creative, we care about our community. I think it's beautiful when everyone's like, I want to put my hometown on the map.
Yeah.
And if you ever go to a birdcage, this is covered with some type of indie artists, specifically indie. So I think it's just something like, keep it a surprise. There's literally shows from Friday and Saturday, every single, like forever, very DIY. And I think it's just something that everyone should experience for themselves. If it's not the fest, there's literally every genre covered. I just think it's a beautiful quilt of what the IE represents. And I think anyone who loves where they're from and loves their craft and geeks out on like music and arts, that's like the perfect venue for you.
Yeah, that's great. I was checking it out a bit. I haven't made it out there yet personally, but I definitely want to. It seems like such a big hub for music and artists in the area, in the IE, like you said. Going back to talking about some of your releases, what are your plans for upcoming releases? Or do you have any plans for physical releases, like tapes, cassettes, CDs, or anything?
Whenever we get asked this question, at least for me, I never really had a plan. I didn't expect us to be here. It generally was like, let's play one time at one show. Don't know how the fuck we got here, but we're here. And I think if people are willing and tell us, we will literally give you money, because that whole thing in itself is a whole concept of like printing and stuff. We had some CDs released for a Creepy EP. He literally learned how to print on CDs,
Nice.
how to do all this. I made the art. It was just like brutal. We are working on, because now with some experience under our belt, to record better. There are 2 songs we're actively working on right now. It's just managing, performing, and promoting ourselves, and that I'm trying to learn how to balance how to say no and how to put time aside to, besides practice, to actually sit down and like get it recorded. Yeah, and write. So we are hoping to release a song called Blood and Demonized, and those are highly demanded, and we have listened, and we're actively working on recording those at the moment.
It's exciting. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. Like, there's a lot of different areas to manage and balance when you were, like you said, like the promotion, the recording, playing live shows, and then like also like your life, like
Yes.
outside of that. So can you talk a little bit more about making CDs? And like, I think that's really cool. CDs are such a classic DIY medium.
Yeah.
Like you could do it at home, you could do it in your garage, right? And I'm personally really interested in like you said, creating the artwork and the packaging and everything for like when you release your music. That's kind of my favorite part of the process.
It was really fun. That was the funnest part.
Yeah.
The timelines, getting people's schedules down, and all that was chaotic. And I'm just like, the sprinkles on top or that whole fun part. Like, you should not judge a book by its cover by any means or anything like that. But I do think that is your first impression of us. We could suck ass. We could be terrible. Is our name okay? Does the CD look cool? Is it something you'd be like, I'll throw it in if you even have a CD player in your car anymore, or if you like blow out a boombox or something? That's why we also have the streaming. But I have an old ass car. I have the huge ass CD book.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me Popeye arms picking them up, But yeah, that's my favorite part, is like looking at all the concepts of like someone literally planned this. So at least from the visual stuff, that was really fun. Even the name, I was just like, it rhymes. Here, your turn. Like, it rhymes. So Nanny's like, what's it mean? I'm like, it's just a little stem. Like, that's all it is.
That's a great way to describe it.
It will get stuck in your head one way or another. And then for you, do you want to explain the nightmare of learning how to work and manage?
Yeah, man, it was, I had to buy like a whole printer and everything for it, because I had no idea really how much of a headache it was. And I think, because I worked both on Moishel, their EP, and
it was
the
a split
Creepy.
EP.
It was like a split EP.
cool.
Yes, so she's from Riverside County, and I'm from San Bernardino County. So I was like, we need both femmes of the IE that are mad and pissed off to release stuff together during these trying times. So he did 2 EPs in one like few weeks. It was also, I go to school full time, so this is during midterms and finals.
Oh boy.
So
Yeah.
that was the best thing I could have done for my health. Yeah, that was beautiful. But I felt more worried for you on your end, because he'll be like, I'm going to have 10 CDs the night before. They're fresh off the press. And then like 2 hours before a show, he goes, it's not fucking working.
Yeah, I could not figure it out, and I was stressing out. I don't think we slept the night before the EP release, because I was just trying to figure this out, and I looked like my hair usually looks crazy when like in the morning. I looked like the hair of a mad scientist. And
It's because you're in the lab.
yeah, I know, that's what it felt like. So I was just like so stressed out, and I was also running the sound and everything for the bands that
Oh, wow.
day.
Yeah.
So when we released it, so I was just like, I'm tired, I'm so stressed out, I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep like more than 24 hours.
No, that was chaos. Again, learning curve. I'm just like, I'm a visual artist, so music's totally out of my element, and I'm over here like, you got a printer, it's gonna be just like that. And I'm like, I'm so fucking wrong. I'm so sorry. Don't listen to me. No night before shit ever again.
I have a really bad time management most of the time.
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm
we all
just
do.
like, yeah, I think
That's why the EP's been out for over a fucking year, because we're like, yeah, that took forever.
Yeah, it's not just you. Don't worry.
okay, I'm glad I'm not alone there.
I think that's how it goes a lot. Like with creative projects, you have an idea of what you want to make, and it seems simple, and then it's like the more you start actually doing it, like you just get deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole until it like takes up all your time and energy.
Absolutely.
You know, you're cooked when you look up a tutorial on YouTube and a guy in a monotone voice, it's like 5 hours long, is like, here's how you do it. And I'm like, fuck, he didn't get to the point.
I know. Oh yeah, that's true.
That's why you just scroll through the comments.
You are yeah.
just
You're
go to the
watching like the
comments.
whole time, and
Bless
this guy.
them, though.
Yes.
Like, bless them for like a printer, obscure printer, and then I'm like, there's no fucking manual for some reason. It doesn't exist on the internet. Yeah.
So then I had to download like so many, like 3 different apps just to put ink onto the CD. So I was like, I have a headache. I'm so tired. And then my laptop was like, you have too much stuff filling up
On
your
your
memory.
shit,
So then I'm like, oh well, I gotta go buy a hard drive now.
It sounds like an airplane when you turn it on, but
Oh, God.
we did it. It's like we did
It worked.
Yeah.
One question I always ask everybody is, do you have any favorite local food spots you want to shout out that are like low key or just like your favorite spot?
Go to the Birdcage Comics Cafe. They have great sandwiches. Daniel and Camille are the owners there. They're awesome. I know Birdcage does comics and everything and music, but they also do food. It's great over there.
Lavender lemonade from them. And
Ooh.
local in Redlands that I like a lot, there's a place called Thai House. I've been going there since I was like a baby. If you like Thai food, that's like my favorite spot. I don't know if it's it's my right opinion, but it's good. if you want to be like, what was she eating when she wrote Haunted? Probably that. Probably like the lunch special. But both of those places are like my favorite. Local, family owned, and a bunch of lore on the wall.
Cool. And then, did you have anything you guys want to talk about or shout out?
I think I just like to thank my friends or anyone because like I only know like 5 people. I don't really follow the whole Instagram follower thing because people could buy bots or like, whatever. It doesn't really like reflect on like who shows up. But I'm always like, I come in like, I don't know anyone. Nobody knows me. I don't know them. I'm going to come in respectful. If anyone genuinely comes and like actually likes their set, I remember all those interactions. Mm-hmm. Those are the best. And it doesn't feel transactional. It feels very genuine. So it's like, that is inspiring. And even if I was like, I didn't do stuff because I was good. I did stuff because I wanted to talk. I'm so shy. So it's like coming from that, it's so motivating to keep on going to possibly meet either other shy people or other people who wonder if they could or if they should be an artist or anything like that. But I think like people genuinely supporting the local scene, people who like, I want to help someone besides myself, I think's like crazy in this time and age. But I think that's what keeps the scene good, the magic going, music good. So I think it's just like I would like to give people those credits and their flowers for that because I just don't think they get thanked enough. And thank you to Roosevelt for helping me and just anyone who's ever helped us with shows, booking us, trying out for our band, supporting us, buying our merch, anything like that. It's basically thank you to people who care and who also create their own music and art because there's an awesome band, but a really good show is when all the bands are like awesome. There's no competition in that.
Yeah, for sure. Like what you were saying about like follower counts and Instagram, all that. It's great for networking. It's great for finding stuff. But what really matters is the people who show up in person, the people you talk to, the people you meet at shows. That's what I'm all about as well. And most people we talk to about the scene here in the IE have the same thing to say. So I think like we are all we have a culture of supporting each other here and uplifting each other and working together for our goals. So that's what I love about the scene out in the IE.
Yeah.
This has been Tom from Suburban Helltapes out here at CK Cafe for Utopian Voids with Glitter Ghost. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Back to you.
Cheetos.
What's up? This is Tom from Suburban Helltapes. I'm out here for Utopian Voids. Today we're at the lovely CK Cafe, a legendary institution in this area. If you know, you know. And I'm here with Manny from Royal Blue.
Hey,
How's it
what's
going?
up?
What's up?
Oh, yo, what's up? Tom from Suburban Helltapes.
What's up? I'm just here. I'm here. More interviews,
Cool.
more shows.
Good.
Keep the ball rolling.
Don't stop. You're trapped.
I'm stuck.
Trust me.
So I did a little research on Royal Blue.
Oh, cool.
And first thing I want to ask you is, when did you guys start as a band? Kind of newer band?
Yeah, we're a new band. I cannot really recall, but it was sometime last year. I think we played our first shows in October or something, September, October.
Okay.
Yeah. And prior to that, we had been a band for maybe like a month or so. I think we only practiced like 3 or 4 times before we played our first show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm sure like for you, it's got to be easy, right? Because you're already in so many other bands. And I wanted to ask, how many bands are you in exactly? And can you list them all?
Yeah, so I'm like in 3 active bands, Knights Templar, Sextet, and Royal Blue, but there's like other things that pop up every now and then. There was a time where I like partook in a collaboration noise set with Burning Ribbons, which is Royal Blue members, and then I practice sometimes with my friend Rogers, who also used to drum in a band called No Pause. He's in a band right now called 27. Yeah.
So you're staying busy.
Yeah.
When it comes to your music, do you guys have anything out yet on streaming or like released or plans for releases, or just curious? I don't think I found any.
No, there's absolutely zero plans. I wouldn't call us like a slacker band, but we totally aren't prioritizing recording and releasing. We're more like trying to construct, I wouldn't say like even a sound, but more just being comfortable as like friends before we get to that releasing thing. I don't know. We'll see.
First, we have to be friends before we can be lovers.
Yeah. I mean, this is the type of band where we like invite each other to each other's houses for dinner. You know, we give each other gifts and stuff. So
That's good. The love is there.
yeah.
That's good. When you do get around to releasing music, I was gonna say, I know you're in tight with Repo Records, so I was just curious if there's any collabs planned there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so each band is totally a separate entity, kind of like its own little world, and you know, there's not really much crossover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I kind of do prefer it that way, so that like my brain doesn't cross wires. I don't get too confused.
You don't start playing a song from a different band mid-set?
You know, I've been afraid of that happening, but it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, that's good. I know we only have you here today, but can
Yeah.
you shout out the names for your other bandmates?
No.
No? No,
Just
they're not
kidding.
allowed. It's just you? You're the star?
No.
It's all about you? It's all about Manny?
No. The band is like a total collaborative effort. So it's Christina, it's Robert, and it's Elizabeth, and yeah. Like I said, it's a total collaborative effort. There's like no primary songwriter, just I think like a drive to construct as friends, create music as friends, and just to be around each other. Christina currently has a solo thing called Primal Swirlings, and then another project with the band, or another project with a person named Bunny, right now it's called Chica Masa, but they're looking for a new name. And Elizabeth, Christina used to be in a excellent band called Ogie/Metadad. They're from Pomona. And then Elizabeth, when I first met her, she was in a band called Party Cuts, and then she was in a band called Star Power, and then she was in a band called Love Is Real, and then
Wow.
and then Burning Ribbons, and then Robert was also in Burning Ribbons, and so I don't know. I think like 7 or 8 years ago, I sent Elizabeth like a DM or a text being like, we should start a twee band for whatever reason, and it never happened until like we ended up Elizabeth went to go see Knights Templar, and the band opening was this band called Pillow Fight, and they were a twee band, and while they were playing, I went up to Elizabeth and I was like, we should start a twee band, and then she later on she sent me a text and she was just like, you already asked me this like 7 years ago. And I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And for maybe like two or three practices, it was just Elizabeth, myself, and Robert, and we were trying to construct twee songs, but like we're not very twee at heart.
Can you define twee for us?
No. I don't know. I mean, I guess like YouTube has its own perception of twee, which would be like, I don't know, like flowery millennial, like talkative movies, and like I don't know. But to me, it's more like Tallulah Gosh, and it's less of like a personal aesthetic and more of like a music genre. I guess is what I want to say.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
You have a really cute post on the Royal Blue Instagram with the teddy bears.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your teddy bear alter egos?
Well, they're not really alter egos. We're just wild animals trying to be people, honestly. That's why we couldn't make twee songs, because we're too wild.
So, what's your history at the Dog Gallery in Pomona?
Oh, man. I used to book shows at the Dawes Center for the Arts. It's so funny because it was such like an overwhelming part of like my 20s that I think when it just sort of like abruptly ended, I kind of like created a mental block, which is so funny. I mean, it just took up a lot of time, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It was just a really fun, creative effort that I put my all into, and ultimately I met a lot of people. Sometimes we would have like 13 or 19 gigs a month at that place somehow, and then when it ended, I didn't stop. I was doing shows at other places, like Bridgetown DIY or my parents' house in Fontana. And at some point I was also doing shows at the Blood Orange Info Shop in the basement of the Life Arts building in Riverside. And sometimes all 4 places had gigs in 1 week that I booked. It's honestly just like the same pattern of me being in like 3 bands and working a full-time job, like there's just something wrong with me, I guess. But
sometimes I feel like we thrive in the crunch zone, at least for me.
Yeah.
But like, it's not sustainable forever. You can't keep it up forever to be in the crunch mindset, I feel like.
I'm not trying to live forever. So.
The candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long, as they say.
Yeah. It smells bad. Any
Any particular crazy shows at the DAW you remember that you want to reminisce about?
Oh, shoot. Okay, this is kind of why I had a mental block. Prayers played there, maybe like right before the Kat Von D explosion, so he wasn't totally like a famous person yet. But yeah, he played and there was like a million people there or whatever. And then I like left before he even started. But
it was still a success.
Yeah, for him, I suppose. There was like, I want to say 3 or 4 really crazy shows. Not because of the music itself. Like we had like for a whole year undercover cops going to the gallery. I don't know. I don't know if anybody watching this can recall that, but like nobody believed me for a while. And then I think like their appearances just became a little bit too uncanny. And one day I got surrounded by like, I don't know, like 6 to 12 agents. I really cannot recall. It's just like an insane blur. And people were like, oh yeah, he was right. And I was like, yeah.
So you weren't crazy?
Oh, I don't know. It was a really crazy experience. And I think it kind of soured a little bit of my enjoyment, but it didn't cause me to stop. I think it made me go harder and get harder. But yeah, I met lots of bands. Like Dustin played as Habits a couple times, which are really spectacular shows. Stay Cool Forever was a really good performance every time. Ogie / Metadad, Christina's old band, always killed it. Honestly, like my biggest memories are just of like people that have stuck around and like friends that are still around. Like we had like Kimya Dawson play once, and it's that I'm not dissing Kimya or like anything, but like all the people who became like super successful, like good for them, but I'm still just like a community person at heart, despite all the dark thoughts. Or because of all the dark thoughts.
I want to ask about another venue you mentioned, which is Bridgetown DIY.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
What a cool spot. I miss that place.
Yeah.
I've been there. I played a couple shows there even
cool
a long
beans.
time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've talked to people about that before, and they're like, "Oh, Bridgetown, like I miss that place."
Yeah. I feel like maybe currently in the landscape of local DIY centers, there's not necessarily like upfront political spaces, just like how Bridgetown and maybe the Blood Orange were. And I think they're like, the language that they used was, I think, kind of like inhibiting maybe people's attendance. It was just very like leftist and anarchist. At the same time, it kind of seems to be how everybody talks nowadays. The culture that we've been like led into is just one of really intense political dismay.
They were pretty strict on their policies there. One time I played a show there, and I actually got kicked out after I played the show for smoking weed behind it.
Oh, good.
Because they were that strict on their
Good.
no drug and no smoking thing. I'm like,
Good.
all right, well. And then the band I was with at the time, generally speaking, they're really mad at me. But then we ended up playing a show there anyways, like months later, so it was fine.
Yeah, it's just run by people. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the policies that we had there were just sort of like for, survival.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because places like that kind of don't last that long. Like we could see it in LA. There's like a new like all ages spot that'll open up, and then like 3 weeks later, just will disappear. Like somebody will steal like a bunch of money, or people will screw each other over. It's just lawlessness, which is great and fun.
It's hard to keep everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
And like I think if you're when people have shows, they want to party and they want to have a good time, and then like it's really easy for it to get out of hand. You have to foster that environment of like mutual respect and like respecting the space and respecting each other and making sure everybody's safe
and love.
And then it also helps with not getting shut down by the cops.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where are you from again, Manny?
Shoot, dude. I was born in West Covina, but right now I live in El Sereno. I've lived in Chino. I've lived in Fontana, Baldwin Park.
Yeah, in El Sereno, there's one I visited a couple times. The Son of a Vet thrift shop. That place is
right.
so awesome.
Yeah.
So fucking sick. Check them out on Instagram if you haven't seen them before. But yeah, they have constantly getting good stuff in there. Lots of VHS, lots of music equipment.
I love to buy buckets from them.
Buckets?
Yeah, I don't know, buckets.
You always need a bucket for something.
Yes, I do.
All right. So yeah, any local food spots you want to shout out? Any favorite food spots?
No. I actually work in food safety, and
Oh wow.
everything disgusts me.
When you know what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah. I don't recommend anything, but also like I'm not the type of person to sort of just be like, this is the best spot. Like I feel like I'm the type of person to just be like, you know what, pull up to a spot and try it out,
Yeah.
because like my opinion might be different than yours.
For sure. Do you want to swap with me? Real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, come on.
All right. I mean, I don't even know if you're gonna want to talk about this. Because I know you are in recovery.
Oh yeah.
How long?
So I've been sober for almost 8 years. I know like in certain like 12-step programs, you don't really like go overboard and say beyond. But so officially I've been 7 years, but at the end of next month, April, yeah, I'll be 8 years clean and sober from alcohol and drugs.
Right on.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I haven't drank in like 5 years now. I stopped drinking because I was just sick of the hangovers.
Uh-huh.
But like, what made you want to quit doing what you were doing?
So there was like two things, and they weren't like super huge things either. They were kind of maybe like the most quaint experiences that maybe you'd hear like in an AA meeting. But like there was one time I had a friend over at the house, and she was like say like a medium or whatever, and she was like, so dude, this is actually gonna be really crazy. You're gonna love this, actually. Yeah. You're gonna love this. Yeah. She was like, oh, there's somebody in the corner. And I was just like, what are you talking about? And she just started like talking about this person, and this person, I guess she was just like, oh, this man, like, he thinks you're really cool, and he just wants you to be happy, and he loves hanging around you and your friends. It was somebody that we both know that passed away. I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. Like I am having fun. I'm having a blast, but I was still like getting wasted every night. And I would go to friends' houses and drink like a 36 pack. I would drink their 36 pack on my own, and I just wouldn't get drunk, and then maybe a couple of weeks later, it was actually at Bridgetown DOI. I was doing the door, and I wasn't drunk that night, surprisingly. And this person like sat next to me, and he was like, how's it going? And I was just like, man, I'm just miserable all the time. I just go to work and I get drunk. And he's just like, there's a place for people like you. I was
You're
just
like,
well, no, I was like, no, I've done that before. It doesn't work for me. And he's just like, well, what makes you so different? And I was just like, I don't know, stuff. It's my first time in recovery. I was like 19 or whatever, and I had like 4 years sober or something like that. So this person was like, they were like naming people that like I had been in recovery with, and I was just like, this is too uncanny. Like, who do you know? Then he was just like, just go give it a try, give it a shot. And I just, I started going to AA meetings, and maybe like for the first month, I was showing up to the meetings drunk. So, it took a while. It wasn't like this instant like thing that made sense. And even nowadays, like I was even driving here and I was just like, sometimes this doesn't make sense.
To to try to be
just
sober?
life, staying sober, keeping a job. It's all like just like interconnected. I think.
Yeah, for sure. So you're playing a lot of shows in 3 bands. Like how hard is it? Is it still hard to like stay sober?
No. And I think it's because I base my recovery on like my own personal spiritual experience, and this like enjoyment and love that I get being around my friends and playing is a really big part of that. Like I mean, I go to meetings and stuff, but like I don't practice my recovery in them. I go there to like learn how to do that in the real world, but that's me. That's my personal thing,
Right on. All right, thanks, Manny.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm Dustin, here with Manny from Royal Blue, Knights Templar, and Sextet.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for watching. Back to you.
Smoke crack.
That was perfect.